Hello everybody, this is Manu-S, and today I'm gonna do something a little new for you. We just received a new mode in the game, the new leaks, with the very first sealed event in Eternal. So I figured I'll do the sealed deck building as a video for all of you guys, especially the people that don't have much or any sealed experience in games like Magic, since I have quite a lot there from all the sealed Grand Prix over the years, and I've always been quite good at properly building sealed pools when checking with other good players and asking for feedback if they would have built my pools any different and stuff like that. So yeah, I initially wanted to do it on stream, but decided that a video is probably nicer and more accessible for everyone and easy shareable and rewatchable and so on. So yeah, let's get going. Okay, so gonna join the event. I have resigned my first sealed pool because it was horrible. So this is the second sealed pool. Let's open some packs. First we have Street Leecher. That's a decent rare. Not a great rare, but a decent one. Let's see what else we get. Only gonna highlight the rares during the opening. That's not a very relevant rare, unfortunately. Pretty underwhelming 2-drop. Another basically useless rare. And a legendary bomb. This is perfect. Like, this is the kind of thing that you want in your sealed pool, especially in Justice, which is a good color. Like, look at this pack. Record Keeper, Watchwing, Confessor, potentially Showdown, Short Barrel, and Amelie. This is an amazing pack. This will already guarantee that we have at least a solid to good deck. Alright. Omens and the Sheltering Rider. Another great rare. Let's hope we get enough primal support that we can actually go for Justice Primal here. So, because yeah, having a good rare and a good legendary, 2 good flyers is a great base for Huru. And we also have a Duelist Blade, which is pretty nice. Library Phoenix, not very impressive, but probably still decent if you're gonna play Fire, but Fire is probably the worst color in this format, so not very likely that there will be more than a Fire splash most of the time. And another legendary. Pretty nice to open 2 legendaries. This is not that great of a legendary because it's mostly good in like an aggressive deck, and getting aggressive decks in sealed is fairly hard usually because you don't have the kind of selection that you have in a draft. A third legendary, 3 legendaries in 1 league. That's amazing. Last one had 1 legendary and it was a terrible one. This is actually a pretty solid to good legendary I could see in sealed, simply because there's not as many answers. The games are slow enough that 8 is not too expensive. In draft it's a lot worse I think, but in sealed this could be close to a bomb. So we might end up Argent Porter Huru. We'll see. Alright. Solid packs. So the first thing you usually want to do is check your rares and legendaries. So if you don't remember them, you can just filter by rare and legendary, because they will often dictate what you're gonna build. So most likely these are the ones that are interesting here, because as long as there is enough in the colors we are looking at, like in the colors that we have the rares in, you gonna want to play the colors that have the most powerful cards. So this is a really great addition. Have some really good options here. Go into time, potentially. Fire is unlikely. This is decent. Like basically right now I would just look for the Argent port first, because the most cards here, decent, solid 2-drops. The removal is very lackluster in Shadow, unfortunately, from what we opened, so that is a potential problem, because removal is the next best thing after like rares and legendaries. Primal doesn't really offer anything here, so the Horu plan is not gonna happen, but we might be able to splash the dual displayed. Like if we look at it, do we have any fixing? We have a Skycrack Stranger that's not very helpful. And we have a Praxis Banner, so the fixing is pretty poor here. These are like not great cards, but in sealed the standard is a lot lower. 2 Confessors is great. Showdown might not make it. 2 of those, and the weapons with the flyers are nice. And with this guy, this could come in handy. So our time looks like it's potentially pretty good. We have Monument. Wrangler might be decent. We have these 2 guys for color fixing and power fixing. We have some acceleration warp here and a silence. 2 solid 5-drops. But all in all, I think it's like not that great. Like we have the Record Keeper, that's nice. But yeah, here we don't have any real appeal in fire. Like not even a torch. So the only good fire card we really have is Purify. So yeah, we are currently looking at Argent port most likely, with probably no splash. And yeah, like there is the Record Keeper, there's the Purify at time, but they're all lacking the support outside of it. We have a lot of like great support for these cards with the Trusty Revolver and the Longswords. The Copperhelm marshals the deck looks really good actually. I think this is gonna be overall a pretty great deck and pool. Wanna see if we are gonna play this in the end, but it's not very likely. Flashing for something like this is not worth it, because it just makes your power worse, but the Duelist Blade is like a late enough drop and also a powerful enough drop, potentially, with like the removal implications and stuff. Consider. We can consider both of these, given that we have the weapons, so we like don't really to splash. We already have enough playables. This can be another decent splash if you have enough good targets, but probably not recommended. Alright, so let's take a look. So this is one of the not so hard to build pools, probably. And yeah, we have a lot of good cards. Probably want to aim for like 18 power, especially with this top end and no support. I'm also probably not gonna play both of these, so I'm probably just gonna cut this one. Let's see how many units we have for the Humble Instructors, because we might just cut them if we don't have enough support. So 2 battle skills, pretty scarce here. Like this gives a second battle skill to someone that doesn't have one. Like we don't even have that many with 1. This is a great target for the Humble Instructor, but it seems like it might be the only one. Yeah, we have like, and Valkyrie Announcer. And we have like some 1 battle skill candidates that get a second, but the second is the provider of a second is only short bearer really. So yeah, the Humble Instructors are both not gonna make it. So that is kind of self-explanatory. And then we have 18 power, so this could already be the deck. Potentially. Like we have a lot of weapon support for our weapon guys, like Street Leecher, Fugitive, Bully, Torment. Some added bonus here from the Militant. Triggerman benefits from weapons as well. I have a couple of subpar cards like Town Watchman, Coaxer, Back Alley Bouncer. But the rest seems pretty good actually. Like this is a really nice pool. Pretty happy with it. We have like up to 2 bombs. We have a really nice curve. We are pretty proactive. The one thing this pool basically is lacking is extra removal. We have to get by with like 1 extract, some stun, evasion, combat trick type stuff. Like we have threaten as a combat trick and the stuns from the marshals. And the rest has to be managed with like silences from the confessors. But all in all, we are not completely helpless, and Touch of the Umbran can deal with some bomb legendary unit in the late game potentially too. So we are not completely helpless. And compared to like the first pool that I opened and immediately retired, this is definitely way better. So still not clear on like, I don't have a feeling yet how the average pool looks in this format, so it's hard to say how this pool compares to other pools, but all in all it definitely looks like a deck. It has also a pretty nice curve, as you can see. We have a lot of 2s, bunch of 3s, so the curve is not like ideal. Wouldn't mind having a bit more 3s and a bit less 4s, like our 4 cost slot is definitely more cramped than I would like. Like I would much rather have a solid 3 than the back alley bouncer, for example. And our 4 is maybe a bit clunkier than I like, but I don't think we have any options here really to change that. Like how many gunslingers do we have for showdown? Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a lot. 8. Yeah, that is definitely something to consider, especially because it also costs 3. Civic Peacekeeper is maybe something to consider. Biggest fan. It is possible that the format is slow enough that Line Breaker is worth it. If I notice that during the games, I will consider adding the Line Breaker. Yeah, I think that's about it. Like the time, like usually if you want to play more than 2 colors, you usually want to be time. Because as you can see, time provides a lot of additional fixing with like fixes here. But yeah, I don't think the Combre deck would look better than the Argenport deck. But actually we can just take a look at it, just for the sake of comparison. Like, we have a bunch of really good multi-faction cards in Argenport, but might as well give it a look. This is decent, although not great, but I think in sealed it's probably better than normal. It's okay, kind of crappy. Some of the synergies fall apart and our watch ring gets a lot worse. Might need this, but we also have the ramp, so that helps. Then we get flash stuff like this and play this. We could also go into flashing these, which might be better. Probably is better than the Purify. Especially given that we have a Stranger that provides Primal. Don't really want the camels. But yeah, the Stranger. Shadow doesn't really offer anything flash worthy. Except maybe like these 2. And if we're splashing Primal, we can also splash dual plate. Nice. And that's probably. And check if this is splash worthy. I also don't want to go to splash. so far this kind of stuff. Yes, this options, but great option. This is probably particularly bad in sealed when the games go longer and curves go higher than in draft. Not do enough, I think. Alright, let's take a look at this. So, how many things does that reduce in cost? Barely any, but it's a 2-drop, so that is not bad. Like, we don't want this really. Not gonna have enough gunslingers for this anymore. Peacekeeper is highly questionable. Guardian is pretty crappy, but it's a sentinel to help accelerate into this a bit. That's about it, so probably just still don't want to run it. How many dinosaurs do we have? 1, 2, potentially 3, 4, 5 if you count the Reinhardt. We have enough 4-drops that we don't need this nonsense, although that makes this Gale Tender a lot worse. One, 2, 3 dinosaurs. Lot more if we count this. I think this is gonna be a bit too weak and we have a bunch of forecasts, so we don't really need it. Wanna run 18 with the monument for sure, cause it's more of a spell than a power. You don't want to play it as power unless you have to, basically. Ranger is additional fixing. Not sure if we want both long swords, but we probably need them if we want to run the marshals. Providing us with like 3 weapons. The synergy between militant and duelist blade comes in handy. This is probably too weak. So yeah, this is probably what the Combre deck would look like. But is that really better than the Argenport deck? I doubt it. Like the Argenport deck has more powerful commons and uncommons mostly. A bit more aggressive, has another potential bomb at the top end. And all we get is like Flash, like Hatchling is a nice card in Duelist Blade, but not that big of a deal. Record Keeper is just like very dude. Get another Silence, but we can't like super mediocre Deadly, which I'm not even sure should be in here. And for that we lose like Extract and Touch and Trick potential. Yeah, I don't like this. The Argenport deck is likely more powerful and more consistent at the same time. Alright, let's build this then as a final version. But it's important to look at all the options. Yeah, we don't want this keeper. Alright. So we gotta cut a couple of cards. So I think we can cut the back alley bouncer over before the Vainglory patrol, cause it's a Valkyrie for Watchwing and it's a flyer. And I think I want Showdown in here. Gotta make sure that we have enough units though. Not sure if I want the Line Breaker. Probably not. Don't think I want 2 8-drops. many. Gonna have them in opening hand too often and stuff. I mean, that card's not great, but at least locks up the ground. We have a lot of evasion potential. This is not great, but it fills our curve out a bit, and we have some weapons to support it, and it's also just pretty solid on defense because it trades with a lot and 5-steal and stuff. If we had a way to give it evasion, it would even be better. There's a chance that Back Alley Bouncer is just better than Coaxer. I haven't played enough with Coaxer to know how reasonable it plays. We have more 4s than 5s, so I'm willing to give it a try here. And the rest seems pretty solid, like the 2-drops are all pretty good. Other 3 and 4 drops, and might want to lean a bit heavier on Justice because of a melee. And our early game, well, our early game is about even, but we have slightly heavier Justice requirements, I guess. No, they're about even, but it's all about a melee. But I really want to make sure that we are able to play our bomb and really don't need much double shadow. We have a 4-drop at double shadow and a 3-drop. And an 8-drop, the rest is just mostly single in both colors. So yeah, I like leaning towards Justice a bit here. Okay, yeah, that's the deck we're gonna play, and I'll probably record a couple of games to show it in action, like maybe like 3 or something, to give you an idea how the deck plays out and how the format plays. And yeah, so hope you guys found this interesting and helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'll probably do more League stuff in the future, depending on what format the League is. And also obviously do more sealed stuff if there's more in the future, like other sealed events and stuff like that. Alright, that's it for the sealed deck building process. Gonna hop into some League games, so stay tuned for the games coming up next.